Hey yo, so welcome to lab 3. So in the first lab, I made a mistake again. I didn't log out, that's the first thing, and I also didn't end the lab. So I ended the lab after I finished the recording, so no stress. So let's just get right into lab 3. Lab 3 is going to be a bit longer, I suspect, because when we look here, it says this time we need 35 minutes to complete. So well, before I start ranting, let's just press start lab first. So we don't have to sit down in silence for 3 minutes. Okay. So what are we going to do in lab 3? We're going to be introduced to Amazon EC2. Alright, so this lab provides with a basic overview of launching, resizing, managing, and monitoring an Amazon EC2 instance. Amazon Elastic Cloud Compute Cloud was the EC2. So there is just the C2 is just Compute Cloud. Yeah. It's a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. It's designed to make web scale cloud computing easier for developers. Amazon EC2 simple web service interface allows you to obtain and configure capacity with minimal friction. It provides you with complete control of your computing resources and lets you run an Amazon proving computing environments. Amazon EC2 requires time to challenge it. We have to read a lot. Okay, basically what are we going to do in this? Still 1 minute isn't gone. Yeesh. Anyway, so you can see that it's going to be a lot longer. So this time they gave us 2 hours. So yeah, prepare yourself. So after completing the step, you should be able to do the following. We'll launch a web server and termination protection enabled. We will monitor the EC2 instance. We will modify the security group that the web server is using to allow HTTPS. We will resize the Amazon EC2 instance and enable stop protection. We will we'll explore the EC2 limits. We will test stop protection, and we will stop our EC2 instance. This lab takes about 35 minutes to complete. Some things will be restricted. This is how you press, and then we'll have to wait for this to turn green so we can start the labs. Then after that, we have to click submit to receive our score, and then click on end the lab so that the environment can be ended and the space given back to AWS, because we are still using their cloud infrastructure or cloud resources, I mean. And I have talked a bit and we're still not done with the 3 minutes, so we'll just sit here in silence for another minute. My butt hurts. I've been sitting for too long. Okay, so it's green now, and so we can start. So the labs are 6, but we're going to do 3. We've already done the first 2, so we're going to tackle this third one, and then I'll take a break, and then later today I will do the rest of the 3. Okay, so click on this to launch it. Again, like I said, because I didn't log out of the previous one, you can see I have to click here to log out first, and then close this, and then come back and click on the AWS with green, and then bring this out, show him those balls, and then zoom, and then perfect. Alrighty, so here we are. Launch your Amazon EC2 instance. In this task, you will launch an Amazon EC2 instance with termination protection and stop protection. Termination protection prevents you from accidentally terminating your EC2 instance, and stop protection prevents you from accidentally stopping the EC2 instance. You will also specify a user data script. When you launch the instance, you will deploy a simple web server. In the AWS console, choose services. I'm guessing this. Oh yeah, cool. Choose compute. Where is it? Where's compute? There it is. And then choose EC2. Okay. Verify that your EC2 console is still currently in North Virginia, East US 1. We got it. You can verify this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So choose launch instance, and then in the launch instance, and select the launch instance. Huh? Oh, choose launch instance. I guess this is it. All right. So name and tag. So give the instance the name web server. Shoe problem. All right, give me a second. Web server. All right, so dang. So the microphone is going to be disconnected, so I can plug in the charger, and so I'll have to be shouting a bit or not. Give me a second. Hello? Okay. So I hope you can hear me. I'll have to speak up a bit because now I'm using I can't charge it. Long story. All right, so we're back. And let me make my face smaller so that you can read alongside what I'm reading. Oh, wait, I should have just gone. I could have just done this the whole time. Silly me. All right, so you all can read this. Let us leave. Okay, let's make this smaller. Perfect. All right, so name tags. So now we called it Amazon Web Server. What next? The name you give this instance will be stored as a tag. The tags enable you to categorize your AWS resources in different ways. For example, by purpose, owner, or environment. This is useful when you have many resources of the same type. You can quickly identify a specific resource based on the tags you have assigned to it. Each tag consists of a key and a value, both of which you define. You can define multiple tags to associate with the instance if you want to. In this case, the tag that will be created will consist of a key called name and the value of web server. Okay, so the key is the name, the value is the web server. Cool. Step 2, application and OS images, Amazon machine image. In the list of quick start AMIs, we'll choose Linux, obviously. Also keep Linux 2023 selected. An Amazon machine image provides the information required to launch an instance, which is a virtual server in the cloud. An AMI includes a template for the root volume for the instances, for example, an operating system or an application server with applications. You can launch permissions that control which AWS accounts can use AMI to launch instances. A block device mapping the specific uh, a block device mapping that specifies the volume to attach to the instance when it is launched. The quick start list contains the most commonly used AMIs. You can also create your own AMI or select an AMI from AWS Marketplace, an online store where you can buy and sell, blah, blah, blah. Just by the way, info. It's not part of the thing. In the instance type panel, keep the default as T2 micro, which is already there. And Amazon EC2 selection provides a wide selection of instance types optimized to fit different use cases. Instance types compromise Instance types comprise, yikes, varying combinations of CPU, memory, storage, and networking capacity, and give you flexibility to choose the appropriate mix of resources and applications. Each instance type includes one or more instance sizes, allowing you to scale your resources to the requirement of your target workload. The T2 micro instance type has one virtual CPU, 1 GB of memory. You may be restricted from using other EC2. That's fair. So key pair login. For the key pair name required, we choose Voki. I don't know why Voki or what it means, but Amazon EC2 uses public key cryptography to encrypt and decrypt information, login information, to ensure you will be able to log into the guest OS of the instance you created. You identify an existing key pair or create a new key pair when launching the instance. Amazon EC2 then installs the keys on the guest OS when the instance is launched. That way, when you attempt to log in to the instance and you provide the private key, you will be authorized to connect to the instance. In the lab, you will not be able to, you will not actually use a key pair you have specified to log into your instance. Next to the network settings, choose Edit. For VPC, choose Lab VPC. There it is. The Lab VPC was created using AWS CloudFormation template during the setup process of your lab. This virtual private cloud includes two public subnets in two different availability zones. Note, keep the default subnet public subnet 1. Okay, it is that. This is the subnet that's in which the instance will run. Notice also that by default, the instance will be assigned a public IP address. Where is it? I want to see it. Oh, there it is. Public IP. Okay. Under firewall security groups, choose create security. Okay, so they didn't say anything about this, so we'll just leave it. So choose create security group, and then we'll call the security group name. We'll call it this. Okay, and the description, we'll call it security group for my web server. What's happening? Okay, so security group for my web server. A security group acts as a virtual firewall that controls the traffic for one or more instances. When you launch an instance, you associate one or more security groups with the instance. You add rules to each security group that allows traffic to or from its associated instances. You can modify the rules for a security group at any time. The new rules are automatically applied to all instances that are associated with the security group. Under inbound security group rules, notice that one rule exists. Remove this rule. So we have to remove the inbound security group rule. Oof. That's what we did, right? Cool. Step 6. In the configuration storage section, keep the default setting. Amazon EC2 configuration. Okay, so we keep it at 8 gigabytes general purpose 3 SSD. Okay. And Amazon EC2 stores data on network attached virtual disk called Elastic Block Store, which is object storage. You will launch the Amazon EC2 instance using the default 8 gigabyte disk volume. This will be your root volume, also known as boot volume. Okay. Expand. So then we'll just go to advanced details. I'll expand it. Then for termination protection, select enable. So we'll just scroll down and look for termination protection. And then we'll click on enable. Now I remember in the description we're supposed to do termination and stop protection, but I think they want us to do the stop protection later because there's something they want to teach us. So just leave everything as it is. Don't stress yourself too much. And then after we've done enabled it, we will scroll to the bottom again like the last time. And then in the user data, we would put this code in there. Perfect. Okay, but so let's just read this again. When an Amazon EC2 instance is no longer required, it can be terminated, which means that the instance is deleted and its resources are released. A terminated instance cannot be accessed again, and the data that was on it cannot be recovered. If you want to protect the instance from being accidentally terminated, you can enable termination protection for the instance, which prevents it from being terminated as long as this setting remains enabled. All right, cool. So scroll to the bottom of the page and then copy and paste user data box, user data into the user data box. When you launch an instance, you can pass user data to the instance that can be used to perform automated installations and configuration tasks after the instance starts. Your instance is running Linux, Amazon Linux 2023. The shell script you have specified will run as the root guest OS user when the instance starts. This script will install an Apache web server to configure the web server to automatically start on boot. It will run a web server once, which once has been finished installing, and create a simple web page. Okay, so we just have to scroll down and click launch instance, and then we will see a success message. Perfect. So then we just go down to view all instances, and in the instance list, select web server. So I would advise again that just refresh it just in case. You can see it's still initializing, but select it anyway, like they said. Review the information displayed in the details tab. It includes information about the instance type, security settings, and network settings. The instance is assigned to public IPv4 DNS that you can use to contact the instance from the internet. To view more information, drag the window divider upwards. I think they're talking about this one. Go in a bit up. Yep. At first, the instance will appear in the pending state. Which one exactly? I think is it this one? Yeah. Hold on. Where are you? Yeah, in the pending state, which means it's being launched. It will change to initializing now, and then finally to running. I think it's running now. Or instance state, yeah. So let's just refresh this. Still initializing. Okay, so wait for the instance to display the following: instance state running, which is running over here, and then the status checks 2 out of 2 pass. Web server isn't done, so we would have to sit down and wait, and then refresh again. Still initializing, so just sit down and wait. Once it is done, congratulations, we have successfully launched our first EC2 instance. Task 2, monitor your instance. So monitoring is part of maintaining the reliability, availability, and performance of your Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instance, which and your solutions, AWS solutions. Refresh this. Still taking forever. So you choose the status checks tab. Oh, come on. I'm tired. I need sleep. Perfect. So congratulations, you have enabled your first EC2 instance. Monitoring is important, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So choose the status checks lab. Now there's one status here. There's another status here. You can't click on this one, so I'm assuming this is the one they're asking us to do. Perfect. With instance status monitoring, you can quickly determine whether Amazon EC2 has detected any problems that might prevent your instance from running applications. Amazon EC2 performs automated checks on every EC2 instance and to identify hardware and software issues. Notice that both the system reachability and instance reachability checks have passed. Oh yeah, system reachability check has passed and instance status checks have also passed. Okay, cool. Choose monitoring tab. There we is. Then you can see all the, this tab displays Amazon CloudWatch metrics for your instances. Currently, there are not too many metrics to display because the instance was recently launched. You can choose the three dots icon in any graph and select enlarge to see. Okay. So we can click on this one and then click on enlarge. You see this. There's no data again, like they're saying, because it was just created, so there's no data. Sends Amazon traffic watch. Just refresh this and then refresh this one. EC2 sends metrics to Amazon CloudWatch for your EC2 instances. Basic 5-minute monitoring is enabled by default. You can also enable detailed 1-minute monitoring. Okay. So in the actions menu, towards the top of the console, I'm guessing this is it. Select monitor and troubleshoot. Where is you? There. Then get system log. So we'll have to wait a bit. Again, the system log displays the console output of the instance, which is a valuable tool for problem diagnostics. It's also useful for troubleshooting kernel problems and service configuration issues that could cause an instance to terminate or become unreachable before its SSH daemon can be started. If you do not see a system log, wait a few minutes and try again. So that's what we're going to be doing. Sitting here for another few minutes, waiting and trying again. Scroll through the output of, okay, so when it's done, then we'll do it. But scroll through the output of the HTTP package. Scroll through the output and note that the HTTP package was installed from the user data that you added when you created the instance. Okay, so it's after that I'm waiting. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Just have to sit down and wait. Nothing. Okay, so the data is here. So I don't know how to read code, so I don't understand what's happening here. So the best thing I would advise is copy this and go to ChatGPT, because why not? Let's just create a new tab, and then you can tell chat, explain what is going on in the above. Just type explain further. Okay. So then you can come here and read what ChatGPT has to say about, you know, each of the main things that it's doing, because me, I didn't understand it and I don't know how to code, so I don't particularly understand it. So I'll have to come back later and read this. Okay. So if we scroll to the data, make sure scroll through the output and note the HT package was installed from the user data that you added when we created the instance. That is this thing that we added. Okay, understandable. Now choose cancel. Ensure the web server is still selected. Yes, it is. Then in the actions, monitoring and troubleshoot, then get instance screenshot. Yep. So I'll just sit here and wait. Cool. This shows you what your EC2 instance console would look like if a screen were attached. I don't particularly understand what it means, so you're on your own. If you're unable to reach your instance via SSH or RDP, you can capture a screenshot of your instance and view it as an image. This provides visibility to the status of the instance and allows for quicker troubleshooting. So choose cancel. Congratulations, you explored ways to monitor your instance. Alright, task 3. Update your security group and access the web server. When you launched the EC2, you provided a script that installed the web server and created a simple web page. In this task, you will access contents from the web server. Ensure web server is still selected. It is. Choose the details tab. There we are. Copy the public IPv4 address. Okay. One address of your instance. Okay. Open a new tab in your web browser. Paste the IP address you just copied and enter a new one. Alright. Okay. Continue to site 2 saying open a new tab in your web browser, paste the address you just copied and enter. Question. Are you able to access your web server? Why not? You are not currently able to access your web server because the security group is not permitting inbound traffic on port 80, which is used for HTTP requests. This is a demonstration of using a security group as a firewall to resist network traffic that is allowed in and out of an instance. To correct this, you will now update the security group to permit web traffic on port 80. Keep the browser tab open, then return to the EC2 console tab. In the left navigation pane, choose security groups. There you is. Okay, then select web server security group. There it is. That's the name. Web server security group. Okay. Choose the inbound rules tab. There it is. The security group currently has no inbounded rules. Let's just scroll this up a bit. Yep, you can see there's no inbounded rules. Okay. Choose the inbound rules tab. The security group has no inbound rules, so we'll just do edit inbound rules and then we'll add a rule. And the rule says HTTP. Where is that one? HTTP IPv4. Save. So return to the web server that I previously opened and refresh the page. You should see the message hello from your web server. Oh, you mean this one? Perfect. Alright. Again, if you just open this in a regular tab, I don't think it will work. So let's just see. It will just keep loading and then to say site can't be reached and you just keep reloading. I think it's because we're already logged in there. When you go to an incognito tab like this one, you're good. Cool? Perfect. Okay. Congratulations, you have successfully modified your security group to permit HTTP traffic into your Amazon EC2 instance. Task 4. Resize your instance type. Resize your instance type and EBS volume. As your needs change, you might find that your instance is overutilized, too small, or underutilized, too large. If so, you can change the instance type. For example, if a T2 micro instance is too small for its workload, you can change it to an M5 medium instance. Similarly, you can change you can change the size of the disk. Stop your instance. Before you resize an instance, you must stop it. Okay. When you stop an instance, it will shut down. There is no runtime charge for a stopped EC2 instance, but the storage charge for attached Amazon EBS remains the same. On the EC2 management console, in the left navigation pane, choose instances, then choose web services. So in the instance state, select select stop instance and then click on stop, and then you will see successfully initiated. So your instance will perform a normal shutdown and then to stop running. Wait for your instance to display stopped. Okay, let's scroll down, refresh. Perfect. Say stopped. Change the instance type and enable stop protection. Select the web server instance. Hold on, I think I missed something here. Wait for instance to say stop. Okay, it does. Select the web server instance, yes. And then in the actions there, instance settings, change instance type. Perfect. So instance type, we want to change it to a T2 small, which is pretty small. Okay. So change it to T2 small, and then we choose apply. I don't see an apply button. When the instance is started again, it will run as a T2 small, so I think it will change instead. So I think we're supposed to click change and not apply. Okay. When the instance started again, to run as a T2 small. So yeah, we started it again. We haven't started it again yet, but when it starts, it will run as a T2 small. Okay, so select this. Then in the actions menu, select in the actions menu, select instance settings, and then change stop protection, and then want to enable it. Same, yeah. Okay. So when you stop an instance, the instance shut down, and when you later start the instance, is typically migrated to a new underlying host's computer and assigned a new public IPv4 address. An instance retains its assigned private IPv4 address. When you stop an instance, it is not deleted. Any EBS volume and the data on the volumes are retained. Okay, resize the EBS volume. With the web server instance still selected, choose the storage tab. There it is. Select the name of the volume ID and then select the checkboxes next to the name. A second. Choose the storage. Select the name of the volume ID. I think I'm lost. I think because I'm feeling sleepy. My brain. Okay, cool. I think there's the one. So with the web server still selected, because we changed stop protection, blah blah. With the web server still selected, choose storage tab, which we did, and storage tab. Yeah, storage tab. Select the name of the volume ID and select the checkbox next to the name that displays. Then action, modify volume. That's not here, so I'm not supposed to go there to modify the volume. Select the name, then select the checkbox. I mean, it's here. In the actions. Okay, I'm a bit lost. I don't know what I'm missing. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Change the instance type, enable stop protection. We've enabled stop protection. We've done this. Okay, so as we have to resize the EBS volume. Yeah, in the actions menu, click. Okay, in the actions menu, click modify volume. I don't see modify volume here. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be down here. Unless I'm supposed to click this. Oh, I see. Yeah, I was feeling sleepy, so that's a problem. All right. So with the server, choose storage tab, select the name of the volume ID, that's what we did. Then then select the checkbox next to the name that displays. This one. Okay, the disk volume currently has a size of 8 gig. You can now increase the size of the disk. So then we'll select action, select modify volume. Yeah, we modify the volume, and then has a this you'll now increase the size. So change the size to 10. Okay. You may be restricted from creating an creating Amazon EBS volumes larger than 10 gig in this tab. So we just stick to 10 gig. Choose modify. Okay. They didn't say anything about the others, so I'm just doing modify, modify. Cool. Start the resized instance. You will now start the instance again, which will now have more memory than and space disk. In the left navigation, choose, hold on, let me refresh this. Cool. So you can see now the 10 gigabytes thing we put there has changed. All right. So then we can go to the left pane and go to instances. And then we'll select web server, already selected, and instance state. Start instance. Perfecto. So we refresh, it's in pending. So now we've successfully resized the Amazon EC2 instance. In this task, we changed the instance type from T2 micro to T2 small, and we also modified the root disk volume from 8 gig to 10 gig. 5. And I think this is supposed to be the last but one. Task 5. Amazon EC2 provides different resources. How long has it been? Okay, it's not even, okay. Amazon EC2 provides different resources that you can use. These resources include images, instance volumes, snapshots when you create an Amazon Web AWS account. There are default limits on these resources on a per region basis. Okay, let's just wait for this to finish. Still initializing? Come on, bro. Alright, while we wait for it, I am going to grab something to keep me awake. Oh, my back hurts. Okay. Still initializing. Alright, so now. Okay. So we'll go to the instance state. Okay, we're done. Now we're going to explore the EC2 limits. So we'll go to AWS. We'll go to the box next to services. Then we'll type service quota. you type service, you would see service quota right here. Then we choose AWS services from the menu. What? Give me a second, I'm lost. Dashboard. Okay. So go to search for and choose service quotas. Choose AWS service from the navigation menu, and then in the AWS services, find services search bar, search for EC2, and choose Elastic Cloud Compute. Okay, choose the AWS services, and then look for Elastic Cloud Compute. All right, let's just go. And you see Elastic Cloud Compute, right? EC2. In the find quotas search bar, search for running on demand. So then this one we just type here running on hold on. Okay. So when you just type running on demand, let's not make a search instead. Observe the filtered. So just here to observe. So observe the filtered list of the service quotas that match the criteria. Notice that there are limits on the number and types of instances that can run in a region. For example, there's a limit on the number of running on-demand standard instances that you can launch in this region. When launching instances, the request must not cause your usage to exceed the instance limits currently defined in the region. If you are the AWS account owner, you can request an increase for many of these limits. So you can see the limits of the on-demand stuff. Right. All right. So we're done. Then the next one is task 6. You can stop your instance when you do not need to access, but you would still like to. You can stop your instance when you do not need to access, but you still like to retain it. In this task, you will learn how to use stop protection. So in the services, search for EC2 again. You see, we have EC2. Don't know where this book is from. Search the navigation pane and choose instances. Yeah. Then select web server. Done. And then in the instance menu, yeah, hit stop instance and then click on stop. And then there should be an error message. Why is there an error message? So note that the message says failed to stop instance. The instance may be stopped, blah blah, modified, blah blah. This shows that the stop protection that we put in earlier in this lab is now providing a safeguard to prevent the accidental stopping of an instance. If you really want to stop the instance, you will need to disable the protection. So in the actions menu, select the instance settings. There it is. And then change stop protection. And then we clicked on enable. So now we will uncheck the enabled. Then we will save it. And then now we will try and stop the instance again. And this time it shows success. You have successfully tested stop protection and stopped your instance. Perfect. Now you can see it's stopping. It eventually go out and say stopped. So we have to just wait and then have it fully stop and then we submit. So let's just sit here. Wait for it to stop. Finally stopped. Perfect. Now let's choose submit, and yes. Perfect. So you can see we we finished with a total perfect score. So now, like I've been saying in the previous ones, you can end the lab, yes, because we're done. But also make sure that you click on this and then you sign out. Because if you don't, you run into issues later when you're signing again. And so, yeah, we are done with lab 1 to 3. Right now, the time is 7 a.m. Yikes. Okay, and I haven't slept, so the sun is even rising. So I'm going to go to bed, and then when I wake up, we will do the rest of the labs 4, 5, and 6, and upload everything by close of day today. Good night, and yeah, see ya. Oh, good morning. Sorry.